Hello, Gemini friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Gemini August 2024 Astrology Horoscope forecast. I'm calling the theme of this month a playful twist you can't resist, and we'll talk about all the layers of that for this time and beyond. And we've got all kinds of things to discuss, going from very short term, more mundane energies to very big long term energies. So I'm just going to build our way up from the fast moving planets to the second blue moon, which is very rare, up to the eclipses. And we are in eclipse season now, so expect those big changes and that big news to start to come. And we'll go into the details as to where you may see those changes. This is for you if Gemini is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Gemini placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Gemini friend, so birthdays like June 15th through the rest of the sign, or Gemini degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Cancer report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. The first layer of playful energy and energy you might not be able to resist that coaxes you into the fun is this huge stellium in Leo. Leo is the fun bringer of the zodiac, and we are in Leo time. We've got the sun in Leo, Vesta in Leo, Venus is there, Mercury will retrograde back into Leo, and we've got the new moon on August 4th. And of course, anytime there's anything in fire energy, that always flows very well for air energies. So not only are these potentials bringing this fire to everyone, they're also bringing extra opportunities for you because you've got this 60-degree angle that tends to bring exactly that, opportunities. Some of these things you may actually have to do something with for them to go anywhere. I know that sometimes Geminis like to live in the world of options, and once you exercise an option, then you close out different options, but there will probably be very many options at this time, so you don't have to worry about that. So the next layer of this is that, let's talk about, okay, so August 4th, we've got the new moon in Leo, and that is a great time to do your new moon wishes and plant seeds around the following topics, all of which are part of the astrological profile for this month. Creative projects, babies, like actual babies, from conception to birth to childbearing, romance, the spark that leads to the babies. All of this whole flow is ruled by Leo. I always like to describe the energy of Leo as it is ruled by the sun, as what the things that make you have that feeling that all of your cells are being lifted like sunflowers up. That's how I feel when I think of this energy. And that's what's going on now. It's playful. It rules the area of fun in the chart for everybody. Although for you, you're going to have extra special representation there, which I'll get to soon, meaning more layers of this. That's why I'm making it the theme. And, it's just very irresistible. It's fiery, it's succulent, it's, it's juicy, it's vibrant, it's inspiring, it's motivating. And you may find that your creative faculties are supercharged and your ambition to do stuff with your creative faculties are supercharged. And it's just overall a very exciting time. Now, for Geminis specifically, the Leo energy lights up your third house, which is ruled by Gemini. So everything that makes you how you are is also infused with this energy. All of those placements that I listed are moving through your house of communication and the devices that you use, writing and editing, learning and teaching, anything having to do with vehicles or mobility or travel is all supercharged. And generally with these type of energies, it will be super busy, which has been a trend because we've had Mars moving through your sign, Gemini, for a while, and it will be moving through Gemini for one more month here in August, and that is spinning things out. So you'll be all over the place, busy, doing this, doing that, having all kinds of options, and very scattered. Now add to that, of course, that you have Jupiter in your sign from May of 2024 through June of 2025. So, it's all very much expanding. Everything that you want, everything that you are, everything that's going on for you is just up to another level. It's up leveled, it's supercharged. So as the energies start to ground into Virgo, and also as these, retrograde energies take a hold, which we'll look at everything through the retrograde lens here in a minute, then we have sort of a grounding out, a discipline, a doing something tangible with the inspiration, a getting back to the routine. So there's like this whoo, and then there's kind of just getting back to basics, getting back to the routine. And you will notice that shift as the month goes on, although we won't be without the Leo energy completely all month, because even when the Sun and Venus move into Virgo, Mercury, which started out in Virgo, retrogrades back into Leo, and it will be that way until September when it gets back to where it was in Virgo. So, this is really a time that's very vibrant at the same time as being very grounded. It's very enthusiastic while at the same time being very practical. And you will see all of these elements coming up with whatever you're doing. Now, specifically for Geminis, this Virgo energy, and there's Mercury there at first, there's Astrea, there's Juno, the Sun will get there, Venus will get there. And if you like the visuals, I am going to drop those in at the end of the report. So just bear with me until we get to the end, and I will go back over everything that I talked about and just hit the highlights and show you on the chart. So if you're someone that really benefits from that, it's going to be there for you later. So all of the Virgo energies will crowd your fourth house of family and home and housing. And you may get super cozy and excited about your house. You may be doing house fix up stuff. You may go to a place that used to feel like home. You may, have a lot of closeness with family and a lot of family fun. It's very much focused on those people very close to you. So that is the storyline of what's happening here. And, this is all going to erupt then after this month back into the fifth house, which is ruled by Leo, which is all of the stuff that we talked about, this juicy, vibrant fun. So you've got this succession of energy that is happening for several months of just bringing this playful curiosity to you, which Geminis already have. So we will just enhance all of that. And you may have your interest piqued on a number of topics, which is exciting because I know that sometimes Geminis can get bored, and it looks like there will be lots of stimulation and interesting things over the next few months that, will catch your attention. Okay, so let's move over now to we'll just talk briefly again about Mars being in your sign for the last month now, because it's been in there for a little while, but it's closing out, and then it won't be back there for another 2 years. So this gives you extra motivation, extra impetus. It's extra great for goal setting. It's extra great for your physical energy levels. Could be physical healing, physical mobility healing, things like that. And since it dances through your first house, which Jupiter is also doing for a year, it's like expanding everything about Gemini. If you're a writer, it will amplify that. If you're a communicator in any way, it will amplify that. Anything that you're bringing, it's amplifying that, and it's helping you to define what that is. And in this case, it's going to possibly be more than one thing. Okay, so the Gemini energy, as we know, it's their fingers in a lot of pudding pies. So you may notice progression on many different fronts this month with the extra Mars motivation, and then all into June of 2025 as Jupiter is taking into the longer term this storyline. Okay, so now let's talk about the next level of what's happening here with the supermoon, blue moon. August 19th, we have a blue moon, which is a supermoon, which means it's closer to us, which means the gravitational effects will be stronger, for better and worse. It will be more intense, more emotional, even here in objective Aquarius. So this is very exciting because this is in fellow air signs. So not only do we have the excitement of a blue moon, we also have a beautiful link to your specific sign. Let's talk about a blue moon for a second, because if you've watched my reports, then you know that we had a blue moon last month too. And it's very rare, right? Because once in a blue moon means it doesn't happen often. So here we are having 2 blue moons in a row. What is that all about? That's because there's more than one definition for what a blue moon is. And occasionally, like now, it's coinciding where they are back to back. So a blue moon is either the second full moon in a calendar month, a second blue moon in a sign, which is the one last month, it was the second Capricorn moon, or an astronomical definition, which is the third full moon in a series of 4 between summer solstice and fall equinox, which is this one. And that latter one, this one that's on August 19th, only happens around every 33 months. So that's, almost 3 years. So it is even more rare than other blue moons. from the different definitions. And the fact that they're back to back, this is, is a big deal. So we can look for once in a blue moon occurrences to happen. And let's look at the different layers of how this can manifest. So the energy is in Aquarius. So we can have once in a blue moon opportunities for friendships, social circles, leadership within a group, you being part of a group that makes you feel like you're part of something greater that's very fulfilling. You, with humanitarian efforts or community efforts, internet-based projects, anything having to do with the greater good. Astrology can even be in here from the metaphysical perspective or the New Age perspective, if you're into that viewpoint. Basically anything that takes a viewpoint of the greater good throughout time. In the bigger picture here is really coming up strong. So on the topic of the bigger picture, specifically for Gemini, this supermoon, blue moon, is happening in the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius, which is your opposing sign. So there's a lot of power there. So this can enhance for you different cultures, different languages, travel to these countries, immigration things, international business opportunities, or friendships with people from, or other connections with people from different countries that can enrich and expand your life. This can also just have to do with upliftment and optimism and taking things up to a different level, like the energy of up leveling. Sagittarius energy is ruled by the big gas giant Jupiter, and it's very expansive and very broad. So you might be starting to see things in an even bigger picture now, like from a bird's eye view or from the top of a mountain. And the supermoon, blue moon, can bring you once in a lifetime opportunities to do something there. So you keep your passport packed where you can get it, and just kind of be on alert. This can also have to do with teaching and learning. So if there's an education program that you've been wanting to do, or maybe one will come out of the blue, that could be the energy. Or if you're stepping into teaching, that could be what takes this big energy. And again, this really rules opportunities. So look for opportunities or manifestations in those arenas. So while everyone can get the goodies from this blue moon, supermoon, once in a blue moon set of opportunities, those of you who are closest to the degree, which is 27 degrees of Aquarius, so very late degree friends, you may get a more profoundly positive, noticeable outcome from this. So that's basically the same birthdays and degrees that I suggested listen to the Cancer report, the very late degree friends. So we'll say 22 degrees through the rest of the sign. So that's going to be like June 12th through the rest of the sign, and the closer to like June 17th, 18th, 19th, around there, the more it locks into mathematical exactness. And from the perspective of the degrees, the closer to 27 degrees, and we're putting 5 degrees in each direction. So, from 22 degrees on to the end of the sign, you'll have more of probably a noticeable effect there. But nobody's getting left out of the goodies. Just those of you who are in closer exactitude may have this be more noticeable. Okay, so now, and talk about playful. I mean, Sagittarius energy is, very, very, very fun, very much loving to frolic, and also very curious and wanting to, get their fingers in a lot of pudding pies. That's what I always say about Gemini and Sagittarius. It's like this diverse range of interests. So, you may notice that you're getting involved in a bunch of different things, and that there are multiple layers of that truth at this time. Okay, so now let's talk about the eclipses. The eclipses are the longer term energies that I told you we would work up to. They are present now, and the reason why we have to talk about them now in August, even though the eclipses are September 17th and October 2nd, is because eclipse season starts 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipse. So that is fully, completely covering August. And so if we don't talk about it in August, you'll start to have manifestation and information and like intense energy, and you won't know what's going on, because then when you hear about it in September, you'll say, oh gosh, no wonder, that makes sense. But I don't want you to have to do this retrospectively. I want you to be able to do this proactively and know what's happening while it's happening. Life-changing trajectories are very likely to come up, and big news, and either you're going through something big or people close to you are, and you're holding space for them. So what are the kinds of things that are happening? Let's take the layer of the Aries Libra eclipse cycle that's been happening since early 2023, and we'll go until the first half of 2025. This has to do with me versus we, so reshuffling things around in your sector of yourself and other people. This also has to do with the energy of your 5th and 11th houses, which has to do with your personal pleasures and practices and creativity versus the group and the energy of you being involved in a group with your passions and your purpose. And that will continue. And now we have a new set of players in the game. From now through into 2027, we're going to have the Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle. And this is a very big deal because it's very long term. And this is a new entrance of energetics. So Pisces and Virgo have to do with chaos versus form, or abstractness versus, a system. This can have to do with your inner world and your outer world, your intuition and logic, practicality and spirituality. All of these polarities are what are coming up in a big way. So when this is manifesting, you'll see these things happening. But what you'll also see happening is dramatic changes to your home and work space, or your space inside wherever you live and out in the world. If job or employment isn't something that's big for you at this time, or you don't care about that, this is your place out in the world, whether you're making money from it or not. It could be vocational in the way of employment, and the vast majority of people listening have to make money, right, in some way. But if you're not in that group, this has to do with who you are out in the world versus who you are at home. And you may see changes in these years of your home and family versus your work and career, or your place out in the world. And you may see those happening right now. There may be some very radical changes going on in those sectors that you will notice. And, this is a theme that's going to come for a while. So, there could be moves, there could be new entrances to your home, there could be, different work things, there could be online business where you're not going into the office anymore, now you're home, just kind of the shuffling around of energies there. Okay, so if you want the visuals, I'm going to pop those in soon. If you're signing off because you don't want the visuals, let me just tell you a couple of other things. I've given you quite a few dates, but there's one more set of dates that are important, and this has to do with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde shadow period starts July 17th and goes until August 4th when the actual retrograde starts. August 4th through August 28th is the actual retrograde, and then from August 28th through September 12th is when we're kind of recovering from that retrograde time. The entire month of August is covered in retrograde, so we have to look at everything that I've talked about here through the retrograde lens, meaning people and places and situations and things from the past are going to carry on greater value at this time. There may be new things that happen, but there's going to be this tilt to the past. And you'll see what I mean as you analyze this with the things that happen. Also, there's going to be a lot of trouble scheduling. So this is a month where leaving room for what I like to call last minute magic is going to be better than trying to schedule a bunch of stuff, because, it just doesn't lend itself to long-term energy. This is the type of energy in all of August where you stay on the shore, and instead of trying to put your boats out to float, because if you do, the tides are coming in and it'll come right back to you, you just wait on the shore and see what comes to you, and you work with what comes to you. So the squeaky wheel gets the oil now, rather than your big projects that you're trying to push out. And if you have a big project, that's going to be working behind the scenes and kind of getting it cleaned up, or cleaning up unfinished business, or working in the backdrop. And so the more unscheduled you leave yourself, the more you'll have room to say yes when something comes up. And the more you leave yourself unscheduled, the less you'll have to reschedule when the inevitable changes come, either from your side or the other party. This is also a time when you can't see very far into the future. So if you start getting eclipse news and information happening, which you very well may, because we're in it now. This is a pot that's starting to boil. It will come to be bubbling over in September and October, but right now it's bubbling more every day as we get through August. And the more bubbles, the more ripe for news and information and experiences that are eclipse related. So you may get news or start to get information that will look like something is going to go a certain way, but you might not be able to pinpoint or see exactly or commit or understand what that means until the coming months. Okay, so it's kind of a tease in that way, where it's like, here's this, whatever it is. Oh, but you don't really know what to make of it. I don't know what it means, and it's going to be very hard to make plans around this new information. And it's kind of better to not make too many plans, because one of the things that will almost definitely happen is that any information that comes in August, there's going to be qualifying information that comes in September and October. So you get a piece of information, then something else comes in and it changes what that looks like. Okay, so that's just a very important key note. If you want more dates, including all of the many nuisance aspects this month, this is kind of a record that I've seen in a while of nuisance aspects in a month, plus my favorite aspects in a month. Go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, get my newsletter, put the click on the archive link and put August 2024 astrology there. And that will get my write-up for the sweet and salty dates and all kinds of other stuff about the blue moon, the eclipses, and all that. And so if you're signing off now, I'll see you next month. If you're ready for the visuals, I'm going to put those in now. Okay, so if you're interested in the visuals, I'm going to blow through here and show you the things that we talked about. That energy of Leo with the Sun, Vesta, Venus, Mercury, and retrograde, and the new moon is all centered around this third house, which is ruled by Gemini. We've got Mars in Gemini and Jupiter in Gemini. Mars for the rest of August, Jupiter until June 2025, all highlighting this first house that we've discussed. As the planets move on from this third house and Leo, they crowd the fourth house in Virgo, where Mercury will start out there, Astrea's there, star goddess Vesta is there, and Venus and the Sun will get there. That is the house of home and family and housing. The Aquarius energy is the supermoon, blue moon, is happening in the ninth house. And there is that. The eclipse cycles, the Aries Libra eclipse cycle is in this 11th and 5th house. Groups versus your individual passions and pursuits, your creativity added to the group, this whole dynamic. And then the Virgo Pisces is highlighting the 4th and 10th houses of home and work, your place out in the world, your place in the world, housing, and all of that. And that's starting up themes that will go through into 2027. The Aries Libra eclipse cycle goes into the first half of 2025. And August is starting eclipse season, so you're very likely to see manifestations from that. Those. To see more about those record number of nuisance aspects we have in August, plus my favorite dates of the month, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, click receive. Hopefully this will go to your inbox. If it doesn't, look for spam or social folders, move it there, click on the archive link, and then put August 2024 astrology to get that right up with the sweet and salty list. And if you want to capitalize on my double blue moon promo, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, and you can see how when you register for my astrology certification course, you get all the rest of the courses in my whole school for free. Double blue moon promo will go to the end of August, I think like the 28th, or unless the spots fill sooner. But if you see the promo on that page, it is still live and you'll get the goodies. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.